Hey everybody, this is problem number 9 on the week 5 quiz access for chapter 2. And so I'm just gonna jump right into it. It asks us to prepare a trial balance, but the first thing it does, it gives us these accounts and says to assume all the data are correct. But we have one missing. So the first thing we have to do is figure out how much our equipment is. So I'm just gonna bring over an Excel spreadsheet here, kind of walk you through how I would go about doing this. And well, we'll go from there. So we have our cash account, our accounts payable, our service revenue, our equipment, dividends, common stock, wages expense, accounts receivable, and unearned revenue. So the first thing I'm going to do, just to make my life a little bit easier, is I'm going to put these in order. I'm going to do my asset accounts first because asset accounts always come first on a trial balance. So that includes cash, equipment, and that's it. Okay, so that's my assets. Then my liabilities, accounts payable, and unearned revenue. Oh, I forgot accounts receivable, or I missed it. I didn't really forget it. Accounts receivable is also an asset. Those are my assets. I'll do my assets in light orange. My liabilities in like a light blue. And then we will do our common stock account. These are stockholders' equity, followed by dividends. Finally, we'll have service revenue and wage expense. So these are our equity accounts. I'll do those in like a light green, and recognize that dividends and wage expense actually reduce our equity, whereas common stock and revenue increase it. So I'm actually going to make them still green, but less slightly, oh, no, wrong thing. Like maybe a slightly different color of green. There we go. So this is going to be the order things will be in when I do my trial balance. So now that I have them sort of separated, I know my cash accounts will have debit balances. So my cash will have 11,600. I mean, my asset accounts. My equipment, that's the one I don't know. My accounts receivable had a balance of 2,200. My liability accounts will have credit balances. So my accounts payable will be 5,200, and my unearned revenue will be 3,800. My common stock account will also have a credit balance because that's the normal balance for us, so 17,700. My dividends account will have a balance of 1,700. That's on a debit side because the normal balance for dividends is on the debit side. Service revenue will have a balance of 23,600 on the credit side because that's the normal side for revenue. And then my wages expense will have a debit balance of 13,800 because that's the normal balance for wages. If we want to, we can make this look a little prettier by telling Excel, this is money. Anyway, so there's our trial balance. I have a sneaking suspicion though, that if I find the balance, it's not going to balance. Why? Because I don't have anything in the equipment account yet. So in order to make that balance, I'm going to have to figure out how much my equipment is. And really, if you think about it, I can do that in a couple of ways, but really I just have to subtract my credit side from my debit side. And the difference between those is going to be the amount of equipment I have. So this is going to equal my credit side minus my debit side. No, it doesn't like that because it's circular. So it's going to make me, yeah, I gotcha. It's going to make me calculate that on my own. I think I accidentally deleted accounts receivable. which had a 2,200 balance. All right, so if I bring up my calculator and I say, look, my debits and credits need to equal each other, and my credit side is bigger than my debit side, so I'm going to take 50,300 from the credit side minus 29,300 from the debit side, and that's going to give me 21,000. That's the amount of my equipment, the missing item. So if I go ahead and put 21,000 in there, I should balance now, and I do. So the amount of my equipment that's missing, 21,000. I can check my work. It says it's wrong. So, well, then I'm not sure. Did I make an error here? 11,600, 5,200, 23,600. Rent expense. I missed rent expense. This is why we use our checks. All right, so our rent expense was 4,200. Update this. Now you can see I'm out of balance again. So I need to go back and do this again. So again, the difference between my credit side and my debit side is 16,800. So that must be the balance of my equipment account. Hopefully I didn't miss any other expenses, or else I'm going to use up all my checks on this one dumb thing. So let me return to the question. And we'll put in 16,800 as the balance of our equipment. Check our work again. Hopefully we're right, and we are this time. All right. So see, even if you've been doing it a long time, it's easy to make a mistake, easy to miss certain things. The nice thing is now I'm really set up by doing this. I'm really set up to just do the trial balance. So the trial balance is here. Oh, I have to return to the question. Here's our trial balance. So I'm going to start with my assets. Type cash has a debit of 11,600. Equipment, probably it'll want accounts receivable next. It's usually normal to put the least or the most liquid accounts first, meaning the most either the closest to cash or the ones we're going to collect the first. And we're going to collect accounts receivable before we ever turn this equipment into cash. There's equipment. Then we'll have accounts payable. Credit of 5,200. Unearned revenue with a balance of 3,800. Common stock. Balance of 17,700. Dividends. Debit balance of 1,700. Service revenue. Credit balance of 23,600. Wages expense. Debit of 13,800. And rent expense. The debit of 4,200. We all balance. We should be good. It's my last check, so I hope I got it right. There we go. All right, so I hope that was helpful. I hope you seeing me make a mistake, making a complete fool of myself was helpful. I don't feel that foolish. If you've been doing accounting for any amount of time, you know it's inevitable that you'll miss a line item or something like that. The trick is to be able to catch it, and we did, so we're good. Anyway, again, if you ever have questions, don't be afraid to post them or to email me or text me, reach out in some way, and we'll figure out a way to go over it. Good luck on the rest of the chapter.